Shalom, shalom. This is Yahushua ben Yahushua ben Yahuwah Beit Deut, also known as Yahushua ben Deut. You can just call me Brother Yahushua. Sorry, I got a little something in my eye. All right, so about to do another live stream today. This is gonna be just in the yes, that section sis is going to also be talking about stuff like ancient paths, living off grid, all that stuff. And so what I want to talk about today is I'm gonna have to change the title as soon as I go in, is those who come to us secretly. Those who come to us secretly. Now the Torah talks about that there are those who come to us secretly that try to entice us away from the Most High. And that's not a light thing, okay? It's not a light thing. Because what you got to understand is there are only two sides. I'm going to try to finish the spiritual warfare section. But it's a series. All these different sections are either multiple talks or series. Okay, especially the spiritual warfare section is a series, meaning there are multiple videos that need to be done in order to complete the series. It's a lot of information that you need to obtain and to master, or shouldn't say master. Should I say become proficient at? There's a lot of information that you need to obtain from that section and need to become proficient at, and because that's not something that one video, two videos is going to cover. That spiritual warfare section has an immense amount of information that has to go into it in order for you to understand the war that we are in. The war between light and darkness, between the kingdom of the Most High and the kingdom of the devil. The war between, the righteous and the wicked. The war that is in the spiritual, in the heavenlies, that is being played out on the earth. Okay? And so that section is going to have an immense amount of information that has to go into it. And so it has varying videos. If you want to be well in your walk in this life, I think it is a good choice to watch that spiritual warfare section. Again, there are probably people who know more about spiritual warfare. But I'm giving forth what the Most High has allowed me to learn. And what I've learned through practice, and what I've learned works through practice, and I'm still learning. And I'm just giving the information out to you so that you could learn and be able to become more efficient and proficient and effective at your spiritual warfare, okay? Until the battle's won. Or till the war is won. How about that? And so, so this video, this live stream is more about, those who come to us secretly. There are those who come to us secretly and then entice us away from the Most High. And there's only two sides. There's only Yah's side and the devil's side. So if anybody's enticing you not to follow the Most High, I mean very seriously, they're enticing you not to follow the Most High. I'm talking about look, somebody's enticing you to follow another religion or not to keep his commands. I'm talking about, when I say follow the Most High, I mean Revelation 14:12. Not the thought of common Christianity, and where they discuss that some people think they don't have to keep any of the commandments. But then deliverance ministers will have to deal with them, delivering them from all kinds of stuff. And many of the things they have, in order for them to be delivered, they have to repent on things that are found in the law, like no drugs, okay, like no idolatry, stuff like that. All kinds of commands are broken, and then the people are told to keep the commands after they're delivered. But before they're delivered, they say they don't have to keep the commands. Now, I'm talking about Revelation 14:12, where it says, here's the patience of the faith of the saints, the servants of Yahuwah. It says that to those who keep the commandments of Elohim and the testament of Yahushua HaMashiach, Yahushua the Messiah. Okay, so that means that, we have to keep the commands and follow the Messiah. But I'm going to need you to understand something. The commands alone can never save you. Your works alone can never save you. They are imperfect as long as there's one spot. And that's why the blood of Yahushua comes in. That washes all those spots clean. But if you keep on sinning and don't keep the commands, because according to 1 John, sin is transgression of the law of the Most High in the Torah. If you keep on sinning, you keep on spotting your garments. So you washing your garments, you keep spotting, you keep washing, you keep spotting. No, we got to keep our garments spotless until the bridegroom comes. Okay, till Messiah comes. That means we can't keep on sinning. We have to change our lives, or we have to do better. Okay, and stop all the sinning and stop all the breaking of the commands. And when I say sin, what I mean is disobedience. What I mean is missing. Okay, to not obey the Most High, to break His commandments. You got to stop doing that. Bottom line, you have to learn the commands and try to keep them. And so here's a command today. Go to Revelation, not Revelation. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 13. Okay. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 13. Okay, let me put these on. I need these. I don't need them, but they are helpful. Okay, I'm just going to read the whole chapter. The chapter is helpful. It says, when there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he shall give you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or wonder shall come true, of which he has spoken to you, saying, let us go after other mighty ones. I'm reading the scriptures. But if you read in the KJV, it may say GODs, okay? And it may say come to pass instead of come true. So I'm reading the scriptures. And, of which he has spoken to you, saying, let us go after other mighty ones, which you have not known, and serve them. Do not listen to the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams. For Yahuwah your Elohim is trying you to know whether you love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being. Walk after Yahuwah your Elohim, and fear him, and guard his commands, and obey his voice, and serve him, and cling to him. And that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams, is put to death, because he has spoken apostasy against Yahuwah your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, and ransomed you from the house of bondage, to make you stray from the way in which Yahuwah your Elohim commanded you to walk. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst. I want to emphasize that right now, is that a lot of times, many times in Torah, what's said in Torah is that continually a repeated, I don't want to say a repeated theme, but a repeated mindset, a repeated command continually throughout the Torah is to purge the evil from your midst. We have to get into a position where we don't allow certain things around us. Idolatry, witchcraft, sorcery, rebellion, all in certain commandment, things that break certain commands, we have to purge that from our midst. We can't keep it in our midst, because like they say, one bad apple spoils the bunch. Sin spread like a sickness. Sin is a sickness, okay? Sin is a sickness, and it spreads like a disease, okay? And so what you have to learn about sin is that you cannot allow sin to continue to spread. You have to purge it from your midst, because if you can purge sin from your midst, then you prevent the spread to people around you and to yourself and to what is yours. Okay, and things that cause sin, if you purge them from your midst, you won't allow them things to breed sin in your midst, to breed disobedience, to breed that wrong in your midst. And you can get it out of your midst, and it won't spread. It causes disobedience to spread. Okay. Okay. Here's the second point of the chapter. There are 3 major points in this chapter. Okay. Here's the second point of this chapter. Okay. When your brother, the son of your mother, or your son or your daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your friend who is as your own being, entices you secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other mighty ones, which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers. Okay, now listen to this. This is basically talking about any type of relative to you. Any type of relative, whether they be relatives by blood, whether they be relatives by blood, whether they be your friends, whether they be relatives through marriage. It's saying don't let anybody entice you. Okay, when your brother, the son of your mother, or the son, I'm sorry, or your son or your daughter. So this means your siblings, because you got to understand our culture. Some people will be like, well, it didn't say sister. That's because when a sister was married off, she became a part of her husband's house and a part of her husband's clan, and her duties and her time was given to her husband and his family. And she didn't spend time going back all the time and visiting her father's house all the time and just being sorry about that, just being an active participant in their house. She didn't spend all that time doing that. She went to her husband's house and behaved as a part of his clan, a part of his family. Okay, and so this talking about your siblings. Then it says the son of your mother, because some men may have multiple wives, and so some people may have been closer to their mother's children than all their father's children would be considered their full siblings. Okay, there's no halves. When you're doing it according to the Hebrew system, it's their full sibling. But there was a closer tie to your mother's children because they share both the mother and the father with you. Okay, and so this is a deep connection. Okay, so it's saying your closest siblings, basically. So it's basically saying your siblings, the ones you think the most of as being your siblings. It says, or your son or daughter. This means your children, or the wife of your bosom. This means your spouse, or your friend who is as your own being. Okay. So this is basically this is basically anybody who comes to you trying to entice you. Okay. Okay. Or your friend who is as your own being entices you secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other mighty ones, which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers. Okay? All of the mighty ones of the people which are all around you, near to you or far off from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. Do not agree with him or listen to him, nor shall your eye pardon him, nor spare him or conceal him. Now listen to that. Do not agree with them. Don't say, okay, yeah, I'll go and do that. No. Make a public stance to disagree. No, I cannot do that. No, I will not do that. No. Then it says, or listen to him. So even if you don't agree, like, I'm not going to agree, but I'm going to do it anyway because you said, is your mother, your father say, "Oh, come do this," and you're like, I don't agree, but I'm gonna do it. Don't listen to them. Say, no, I'm not gonna do that, and I'm not gonna listen to you neither. No. Okay. It says, nor shall your eye pardon him. It says, don't forgive him for that. Say, well, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my best friend. I'm gonna forgive him for that. I'm not gonna put that against him or against her. Okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. Now I'm not gonna listen to you. But look, you need to stop that. Okay, look, I forgive you. Don't do that again. Okay, nor spare him or conceal him. So this is saying. Um, this is saying, do not spare Or conceal, this is saying, look, don't try to, prevent them from being punished. Don't say, oh no, I'm not going to do this to you because you my friend. You my cousin, my brother, my sister, my mother, father. Okay? Or conceal him. Look, you keep talking like this, you going to die. Let me hide you. Okay? Because in Israel, we don't play that. So look, I love you, so I'm going to hide you and I'm going to spare you. I'm not going to let my hand be first against you. I'm going to spare you and hide you. Okay, it says, but you shall certainly kill him. Your hand is first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. Now we know we in the land of our sojournings. This is talking about when we're in Israel. What you do now, you remove yourself far from this person. You cut this person off. You don't have any more communications with this person. You block their number. You stop answering texts, emails. Stop seeing this person. Stop going around this person. Stop talking to this person. Everything. Now, I have several testimonies about this. There was somebody who I thought was a friend who was an Israelite who kept the laws to a certain extent, and he was we had talked about certain things, and what he wanted, he one day, I'm not going to tell you the whole story, especially online, but one day what he did was he broached me with an offer, and that offer was to join a Masonic lodge, because his uncle or his uncle-in-law, someone like that, had been talking to him about joining a Masonic lodge, and he had broached me as with the idea of doing it. It was over text, and I basically I told him no, most certainly no, and most assuredly no. Okay, and it got into a heated conversation because I said the Torah says I'm supposed to cut you off. You just basically BS dead. And he got very emotional. It turned into this big old thing, and then a couple of words were misunderstood. But I didn't talk to him since, and that had to been about 10 years ago. 10 years ago. But the Most High is trying to prove you to see whether you love your friends more. It says the friend that you love as your own being. That means y'all close friends. That's your homeboy. That's your homegirl. That's your buddy. That whatever type of term of endearment or close ties. Your best friend, BF, whatever you want to call. Okay, that person, you want to see if you love them more or him more. Okay, like, look, if anybody's going to draw you away from me, they're not really your friend, and they're not my friend. And the Most High is like, I'm jealous. I'm a jealous husband. Think of it as you're married to the Most High, your woman. Okay, I mean, just take your mind out off of the physical right now. Think of you as Israel is married to the Most High, because as a people, Israel as a people is married to the Most High, and our husband is Yahuwah, the Most High, as a people, our Elohim, our deity. Okay, and somebody come and secretly grab you, one of your friends, one of your siblings, something like that, and yank you and say, girl, come on. They got these men over there, and one of them eyeing you. Let's go and be with them for the night. Let's go to the club. Let's do something, that you probably should only do with your husband. That's how you're supposed to look at it. You're supposed to look at them like, are you crazy? Look, lose my number. lose Forget where I live. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Get far away from me. And don't you ever come near me again. Okay? Because what you have to understand is that there are only two sides. There's Yahuwah and there's the devil. There's light and there's darkness. Okay? There's life and there's death. Bottom line. Okay? And there's no in between. People may tell you there's many walks. There's many ways to get to the truth. Many ways to do what? Okay, many ways. We're talking about getting back to the kingdom. We're talking about the true story. We were put in a garden of pleasures. That's what Aden means, or Eden, pleasure. put in the garden of pleasures, a perfect place. And now mankind ever since have been lost that place because of sin, is trying to get back to that place. And that place is gone. That place ain't coming back. But there's a better place that's coming, and that is the New Jerusalem. That's the place we're trying to get to. And they say, well, there's many ways to get to that place. And all these coaches have all these different ideas of that place. But when you really pay attention to all these cultural ideas of those places, which you shouldn't study those ideas anyway, those idealistic fantasy places are not the New Jerusalem when you look at the description. And there's only one there. It is keeping the commands of Elohim and doing the testament of Yahushua HaMashiach. Not just keeping the commands, because then you're spotted and you have no atonement. Not just by being washed in the blood, because then you're spotting your garments all the time and relying on the blood. And what if the master decides to stop cleansing your garment with his blood and stop offering his blood to cleanse your garment because you will not repent? The master taught us this: there is no forgiveness where there is no repentance. Okay? Without repentance, there can be no forgiveness. Okay? So you have to repent if you want to be forgiven. You have to forgive if you want to be forgiven. Okay? So that's bottom line. Without repentance, there can be no forgiveness. So there's only one way that's doing both. You know, we can't look at the darkness and try to think there can be a way to please the Most High. Remember, the devil was an angel of light, okay? The devil used to be a high-ranking angel in the kingdom of heaven. Or all the devils were angels in his kingdom, and they come as angels of light. And so what they'll do is they'll put paganism before you to try to deceive you and say, look, it's this way. Yeah, it's that way. Oh, here's a lot of the Most High, but a little lie. Okay, here's a lot of lie, but a little bit of the Most High. See, look how all these religions say the same thing. No, it's not true. They say some of the things they say is similar because they have some of them, all of them are being authored by somebody who used to serve the author of one of them. Okay, so he's taking information from the source that he came from and putting a little bit of it in all of those books. But then putting some of himself in all of those books and all of those faiths and religions, when the only true one is ours, the faith of the Most High, Yahuwah, who created those angels who people now worship as multiple deities. When they were nothing but angels, the book of Enoch, read it. It was written for this generation. Okay, so when you think of it like that, there's no multiple ways. And so the evil one will send people to try to try to tickle your ear, to try to get you to come. Hey, come here. Yeah, you know, I know you keep that and all. You can still do that. You can still do that. But I want you to play a game with me on the Sabbath and break your Sabbath so you can come and spend time with me. Oh yeah, I know you don't eat pork, but you know, I'm going to cook this food full of pork. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take all the pork off of your plate and let you eat the rest. Okay? Look, I know you don't keep pagan days, holidays, they call them. But there's nothing holy about them. Okay? Nothing holy. They call them holy days, holidays, hella days, pagan days, whatever you want to call them. I don't usually say that, but I'm saying that so y'all understand what I'm talking about. So, I know you don't keep them. I know you don't participate or practice in them. But what I want you to do is come and see the family. Because this is when everybody gather. This is when everybody has time off. You don't have to do nothing. We just want you to come and see the family. Just come and see everybody. What they're asking you to do is compromise. What they're asking you to do is compromise. There's a wicked spirit called the spirit of compromise, which works on the believers. You cannot serve both the Most High and any other deity, according to the words of the Messiah. He said you cannot serve the Most High in M-A-N-M-O-N. Okay, many people interpret it as money, but that really means any idol. Well, not in that What I'm saying is that can be applied to meaning any idol. You cannot serve two deities. Either you love one or you hate the other. Bottom line. So you cannot compromise. Either you all the way in or you all the way out. The Most High said, "I rather you hot or cold. For if you are lukewarm, I shall spew you out of my mouth." You cannot be compromised. James chapter 4 says, "You adulteresses and you adulterers, do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with Elohim? So whoever is a friend of the world is an enemy of Elohim." So you cannot be going and participating in these things and doing this with these people, okay? Doing it with these people that expecting you to compromise the laws of the Most High, especially when it's dealing with pagans, or paganism, especially when it's dealing with you breaking His laws. We have many testimonies of people coming to us, family, friends, people trying so-called friends and so-called family. Because bottom line, you think that's your family. The Messiah said of His own mother and brother, He was teaching, and they said to Him, "See, your mother and your brother, they wait and stand to talk with you." They probably pat him on the shoulder. Excuse me. "See, look, your mother and your brother, they coming to talk to you." And the Messiah said, "Who is my mother? Who is my brother? But the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven." And so that's how your mindset has to be. Look, your family is the one who does the will of the Father who is in heaven. Because what you got to understand is that there are only two sides, okay? There is the side of the Most High, and there's the side of the devil. And the devil is the thief. He only comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And so anybody that's trying to get you to compromise the Most High or leave the Most High is trying to convince you to be with the devil. And if they're trying to convince you to be with the devil, they're trying to convince you to die, be stolen from, and be destroyed. Either you, your things, or those who are from you or of you. Okay? So you cannot compromise that. You cannot compromise yourself to the enemy. Because there's only two sides. There's no in between. People say, "Well, what about shade? What about gray area?" What you don't understand, gray is a light form of black. Gray is not white. It's a shade of black. Don't believe me? Look at a gradation shade of black into white. Okay? Well, you say, "Well, that's arguable because shades of black going into white." Okay? You say, "Is it black? Is it white? Is it in the middle?" Well, then look at a gradation shade of yellow, going from really dark yellow to light yellow. Okay? Look at a gradation shade of blue, going from really dark blue to light blue. Okay? Then people might look. People can argue anything, but that doesn't mean you're correct. Don't be so focused on arguing or debating. Be focused on finding what the truth is and believe that. But you got to understand, the only thing that's light is pure light, true light. Okay, there's no shade, no shadow. I was standing for what the light is the Father of lights, Yahuwah. It says that every good gift and every perfect gift is coming down from above, coming down from the Father of. I'm sorry, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, in whom there is no change nor shadow of turning. If you look at my face, there are shadows that show you turning. The shade or the shadow helps to define feature, but in the Most High's kingdom, there is no shade on Him to define His feature. All there are is different color lights. He's made of light. He is light. He's the Father of lights. And so when His features are defined by light, not by shade. Okay, our features to be defined by this, because we have fallen from the esteem that the Most High originally created Adam and Eve to be in. Moses' face began to shine. When he spent so much time with the Most High, his face shined. He had to cover his face because the people were afraid of his face shining. And he had to cover his face. That's because the esteem of the Most High began to fill him and cover him and enter him and fill him so much that it began to come out of him, and his works and his righteousness began to shine like the stars of heaven forever. And that's how the righteous are supposed to be. Okay? According to the book of Enoch, other books. According to the prophets, to not. According to, Psalm 37. According to, other righteous writings, okay? Where eventually we will shine like the stars of heaven forever. And so we will be like the Most High, where our face shines and our features are defined by light and not by shade. Shade is nothing but a light form of darkness. Shade is darkness mixed with light. But you know, you don't have diluted water. If you put a drop of ink in it, what you have is extremely diluted ink or polluted water. Okay, polluted water is not good water to drink. Neither is shade with light. There are gradations of light. Gradations of shade, and then there's light. The shade is nothing but darkness. Okay, so darkness is not light. Shade is not light. The only way is to be pure, 100%. Okay, it's purity. That's why we're taught to not wear mixed fabrics, 100%. Okay, that's why we're taught not to plant a field of diverse seed. That means a seed that can basically cross and it turn into a hybrid or a cross and give you some kind of weird funky fruit. You're not supposed to hybridize or cross seed. That's why it says do not gender cattle of two diverse kinds, okay, or two diverse breeds. You keep it pure. You keep it pure. He's trying to teach us about how to stay pure, how to stay clean, because anything that is mixed is balel, and balel, which is the Hebrew word to mix, means to be confused. And anything that is confused does not have understanding, because the Hebrew word for understanding is binah, which means to divide. To divide, to be able to tell this is this and that is that. So you can't mix the ways of the devil with the ways of the Most High. They're going to be confused. They're going to be polluted. So every other faith is not going to get you. Don't let these people try to get you to play down on your ways, to compromise. Okay, I'm not talking about compromising on whether we're going to buy ice cream today or whether we're going to buy I pray that's sugar-free ice cream, okay? Or whether you're going to buy who knows, okay? Whether you're going to buy fruits or whether you're going to buy a salad, okay? I'm not talking about, making a compromise on things like that. I'm talking about making a compromise on the most important thing. That's your faith, your love, and your loyalty to the Most High Yahuwah. Okay? You cannot compromise, because Torah teaches us not to compromise. Okay? Whew. And you shall stone him with stones until he dies, because he sought to entice you away from Yahuwah your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mutzarim, from the house of bondage. And let all Yesher El hear in fear. That's Israel, Yesher El. Hear in fear, and not again do any such evil matter as this in your midst. We can't allow it. And we can't allow those who seek to do that be in our midst. You got to cut them off, block them, do whatever. Bottom line. Okay, you can minister to somebody and be like, look, that pork is not good. Okay, look, these days are pagan. Look, but if they start trying to get you to participate, look, I can't be a part of that. And if you try to get me to participate, then I have to cut this off. I love the Most High. I'm going to I'm going to do this. I'm not playing games. I'm going to ask you to repent and get rid of that stuff. Here are the reasons why, if you want to listen. If not, I cannot be a participant in this stuff. I cannot be a part of it, and I cannot be associated with participants. The law says do not make any covenants with them or their deities, and do not associate with them. There's anybody practicing paganism. or should I say, other belief systems, other faiths that do not worship and serve the Most High. Okay, Christians got it bad because Christians are like the modern day Samaritans. That's what Christians don't realize. They're modern day Samaritans. Samaritans were a group of people that when northern Israel was attacked by Assyria and northern Israel was scattered throughout different lands, what happens is the Assyrians and some other people sent a group of people to live in northern Israel and to inhabit the land. But what happened is wild beasts began to attack them. And so they sought the priests of the Most High to ask them what to do what about the land. They said you have to serve the Most High. So they start to keep some of the commands, but some of the commands they didn't. Okay, that's a rough summary. Rough summary. And so they start keeping some of the commands and worshiping the Most High, but then they started keeping their own, mixing it with their own pagan ways. Okay, and so they kept enough of the laws that the Most High was tolerant of them, but He was not absolutely pleased with them. And so they still were into paganism, and that's why the Most High, that's why people didn't associate with the Samaritans and didn't want nothing to do with them. But of the Samaritans, there were individuals who truly wanted to keep to the Most High and nothing else. Didn't want any paganism whatsoever. They just wanted to follow the Most High, and they stayed with their own people. And so this is how you get the Samaritan woman at the well. Okay, who basically, and we couldn't lift ourselves up over them because the Most High had to come to our people. He sent the Messiah to our people. Our people were sinning so bad the spirits plagued our people, and that they were doing the ways of the heathen. And you had the people fleeing to the Greeks, and then you had people doing the ways of the Romans. Sound familiar? Greeks and Romans. Okay, and then what happened is, so He had to make partners for us and try to get us right until He could heal us, because our people were sick, and being a sick people, we needed a physician. And so making the same partners for us, then He had to look at the Samaritans and say, okay, then they're going to have to those who are true amongst them, I give my message to them. But also we have to understand that He told His taught ones not to go to the Gentiles, neither to the Samaritans, but go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay, and so these were exceptions. These were not the rules. The Samaritan woman at the well, and the good Samaritan. And it's something to learn from before we get all caught up in ourselves and all high and lifted up and mighty, when we look at other people and down them. Okay? But you got to look at Christians nowadays. There's some Christians that really do truly have a heart for the Most High and really do have a relationship with the Most High. May even receive dreams and visions or hear words. Okay? It's true. I know of people like that, and there before, I know of people like that. I'm gonna just say it like that. And I know of many people before they started keeping the commands that had a relationship with the Most High in Christianity and then came into the way, or before they returned back to their Israelite heritage. They began to they had a Most High with a relationship with the Most High in Christianity and came out. But the thing about it is, Christians, they read the same book. They say they worship the same Elohim, which is the deity of our book. However, at the same time, they're carrying around these idols. I don't care what color you're making the Messiah. I don't care what features you give him. Even though Christians hold up Caesar Borgia, the second son, I think he was the second son of the sixth Pope of Rome, a homosexual, and he was either a thief or a murderer. Yes, I think he was the second son of the sixth Pope of Rome, a thief, either a thief or a murderer, Caesar Borgia, and they used him as the model. Someone used him as a model to paint for the Messiah. Okay, I don't care what color you think the painting is supposed to be. Crucifixes and all that stuff, they are idols. You need to break them, burn them, and destroy them right now. You cannot have them. You should not have them. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't have them. Okay? And so, with that, they follow a lot of the tenets of our book. They read our book. They practice our book. But at the same time, they have paganism mixed in. Like the 25th of December. Like, some of them call Resurrection Sunday. That's okay. But then other of them call it after the name of a pagan idol, Easter, and worship, have fertility symbols of Babylonian fertility idols, which the day is named after, and celebrated with bunnies and eggs. Okay, and some of them celebrate in October 31st with the wickedness of that is clear devil worship, which means Christianity is a great harlot. Because they're claiming to serve the Most High, and at the same time they're playing the whore. But there are those in them that appear that try to be true. They just don't know to keep the commands because their leaders are telling them wrongly. Okay, and so that that is what you got to understand, okay? So some of your families may be, some of you are waking up, you're figuring out that you had ancient Israelite heritage, that you're waking up to the truth, you're waking up to the ways, and you're returning back to the commandments. But your families may be in other religions, and they may not want to turn back to the commandments, and they're going to want you to participate in October 31st. Want you to we're doing it for the kids. Oh, you're having fun. You're having satanic fun for the kids. That's what you're doing for the kids. Oh, the pagan celebration in December. Oh, we're doing it for the kids. Oh, basically, you got some sorry, Caucasian or black, whatever you want to make it, but Caucasian man who lives in the North Pole where there's no light, who has elves, which traditionally, according to paganism, are a species of demon, or a species of children of the fallen angels. Okay, and he has a chariot, or whatever you want to call it, driven by reindeer who one of their noses glows with light. Is this magic? And it causes him to fly. He fits down people's chimneys, which means he's practicing physical transformation or morphing. Is he a man or is he a spirit? Oh, that's just make-believe. That's just fun. That's for the children. But his helpers are demons. And he lives in a place where there's the least light on the planet. On the surface of the earth. A cold and dark place. If he's such a good person, why isn't it a light and bright and warm place? Shining like the Most High. That's the devil. Plain and simple as the devil. So you can't get involved in those things. You can't have anything to do with that. You got to say, look, that's devil worship. You don't realize it because you got it from somebody who got it from somebody who got it from somebody who forced our ancestors to keep this stuff. And you just like the Falasha in Ethiopia, the Faresh Mura were told to convert to Orthodox Ethiopian Christianity. And so you want us to keep, they force our people to keep this stuff, and now it's passed down to you, and you don't know where it really come from, and you keeping it. And you keeping it. So no, we can't have anything to do with that. Nothing to do with it. We got to separate ourselves from it. Okay, here's point number 3. Okay, when you hear someone in one of your cities, which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you to dwell in, saying, some men, sons of Belial, that means sons of worthlessness, have gone out of your midst and led the inhabitants of their city astray. They're going out of your midst. That means they're no longer part of the congregation of Israel, the Israelite government. They're trying to separate themselves from us and do wickedness. Saying, let us go and serve other mighty ones whom you have not known. It says, then you shall inquire, search out and ask diligently, and see if the matter is true, and establish that established. Okay, so it says inquire. That means ask. You go around saying, did this happen? Did this happen? Somebody do this? Okay, then it says search out. Okay, this means to seek. Okay, I'm looking for these people. Whoever these people are, I found them. It's them. Okay, and ask diligently. So ask around. Okay, I ask. I'm asking y'all. Do y'all know them? Look, I heard that they went astray. That they convert their whole town to paganism, to worship of idols. Okay, and it says, and see if the matter is true and established. That means, as Torah says, by 2 and 3 witnesses establish all things. So you go to them and you say, okay, let's confirm this word. Oh, the word is true. Okay, I got 2 and 3 witnesses. It's established. I've asked 2 and 3 different groups of people, and they've told me all the same thing. It says, and see if the matter is true and established, that this abomination was done in your midst. You shall certainly strike the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, putting it under the ban, and all that is in it, and its livestock, with the edge of the sword. This means, look, it says you shall strike the inhabitants with of the city with the edge of the sword. That means you not be at peace with these people. You can't have nothing to do, no association, no peace. You can't be with them. Excuse me. And it says, putting it under the ban. That means the entire city has now become accursed. It is the entire city has become the accursed thing. That means you cannot take of it. You cannot have any part of it. You cannot have any part with anyone in that city. The entire city has become a curse. Okay. So, and it says, and all that is in it, and its livestock, all the items, even all the animals, all people, all items, all animals have been become a curse. And it says, basically, with the edge of the sword, okay, and you shall certainly strike the inhabitants of the city with the edge of the sword, putting it under the ban, and all that is in it, and its livestock with the edge of the sword. Okay. And gather all its plunder into the middle of the street, and completely burn with fire the city and all its plunder before Yahuwah your Elohim, and it shall be a heap forever, never to be built again. Okay, so basically, look, when we in ancient times, if this would have happened, we're talking about our government. We're talking about our nation of Israel, Yesher El. We're not talking about in the land of our sojournings, because this is not our land. There are certain laws in this place. This is not our land. But in our land, Yesher El, in the land of our sojournings, we don't allow that. A certain city cannot go and worship another idol. If that entire city becomes a curse, it needs to be done away with. Bottom line, just as the scripture said, the entire city becomes a curse and needs to be done away with. Everything in it and all of its animals, everything is put to the sword and put under the ban. But for nowadays, we're talking about the ancient times, for nowadays, you don't associate with, say, that if that's a congregation. Some man becomes a cult leader, okay, and starts worshiping idols in the Most High, has all these wicked practices. Do not associate with them. Do not speak with them. Do not be a part of that. I've been told by people of cult leaders. One man calling himself the Comforter. Another, some people down in Texas. Another, the Prophet of the Ram. All this different stuff. You know, these are cult leaders. Okay, what we're doing now, what we're starting now, is not a cult. For anybody who is not an Israelite who may want to watch and say something negative about us. And no, we're not anti-Semitic. Why? Because we are Semitic. No, we're not anti-Jew. No, why? Because we are Jews. That's craziness. Okay? If you look at emergent Jewish communities across the world, there are Israelites all over discovering that they're Israelites, or people who were converted by Ashkenazim some ways back, or Ashkenazim went to some place, had children in the place, and turned into a congregation, mixed in with the people of the area, and now they look like the people of the area. Okay? Let's get that right. Just like and I can name groups, but I'm not. What you have to understand is that, okay, look, nowadays, I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Nowadays, we cannot have anything to do with these people. This is our culture. This is our heritage. These are our ways. These are the laws of our Elohim since ancient times. This is who we are as a people. This is our bloodline. This is our culture. This is the ways of our fathers since going way back. If somebody is bigoted against a race, we are what you would call a race. We are Yahudim. Okay, and we have been since ancient times, but coming out of Israel, we fled, and a lot of us went to different places, went among the different nations, and then learned some of our people learned their ways and forgot who they were, and kept their ways, and are recently rediscovering, or even went across the globe and never forgot who they were, but blended into the population, are now coming up and saying, look, no, we Israelites, and we're not doing this stuff anymore. It's time to get ready for the Most High to bring us back home with the second Exodus. And the second Exodus has not occurred, so that means nobody should be in Israel right now proclaiming to be our people. And there are a group and communities of Ashkenazim in New York, Hasidic Jews and stuff like that, that will tell you the exact same, and Orthodox tell you the same thing. They're against the state of Israel. I'm not talking about being against any state. I'm saying that nobody should be there claiming to be us right now, because the second Exodus has not occurred, according to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. Or should I say verses 10 and 11, according to Jeremiah chapter 23, verses 7 and 8. Okay? According to and a whole bunch of other verses. What is that, Jeremiah chapter 16 or something like that? The second Exodus has to occur. He has to put forth his hand the second time to recover the remnant of our people from wherever we have been scattered. That has not happened. It says that he's going to put forth his hand to open up and part the Jordan again. That has not happened. Nobody should be there right now claiming to be us, because they're not us. Especially if the Most High has not proved them to be us, because it's a blasphemy and a lie, according to Revelation chapter 2:9 and Revelation chapter 3:9. Truth is the truth. Now, I'm not targeting. I'm not trying to target any. Look, I'll just say it like this: the truth is the truth, whether you like it or not. Okay, and so when it comes to these congregations and stuff, you stay away from cults. Stay away from these cults that form. Now, us reforming our heritage and having our congregations, which in ancient times, which people sometimes call synagogues, which is just basically temples outside the temple in Jerusalem. It's a congregation. Okay, us forming community congregations, some people call synagogues, some people call camp. That's one thing. But stay away from cult-like practices that turn men into deities. Okay. And start doing things other than what the commandments say, and start making weird rules. People, and all this. Us forming our communities and setting up our own community law. People would talk negatively about our people, but when Muslims put up Sharia law, nobody has a problem with it except for their enemies. Okay, but they understand that there's their ways. Okay, well we can form Torah law communities, because we are the precedent to both those peoples. Okay, and the Most High, he himself founded our ways. They themselves founded their ways. He himself came down and set foot upon Mount Sinai and gave us our ways and taught us our commandments. Okay, he himself sent his son down, and his son himself taught us his ways. Okay, our ways predate. So nobody can't say anything negative about us. This is our culture by blood, going back many generations. We have the right to set up Torah law in our own communities and set up Torah communities. Okay? But there's being nowadays in time, you have to be careful what you do. The Most High has not said at this time to put anybody to death with any stones, because he who is without sin cast the first stone. We have to get ourselves together. We have to get ourselves straight and right. I'm talking about disassociating, cutting off, breaking, letting it be as though those people are dead to you. Not killing. I'm saying let it be as though those people are dead to you. Cutting ties. Breaking all ties. Okay? Because this is our ways. We have to be true to the ways of our fathers. We cannot forsake the ways of our Elohim, regardless of who thinks what in this way. Because they're keeping their ways. They'll do their ways, but then they'll talk to you negatively about keeping your ways. The ways of your father. They want you to forget who you are, but they don't want you to forget who they are. And they don't want to forget who they are. So, look, we're going to remember our Elohim. And we're going to keep his commands. And we're going to do his ways. And we're going to be his people as he has commanded us. And as he has chosen us. And we're going to remember the ways of the Most High. Okay? And it says, and so this city, it shall be a heap forever, never to be built again. You're not to take anything from it. The entire city is destroyed. It's a heap forever and never be built again. Okay? And it says, and none of that which is put under the ban is to cling to your hand. Don't take anything from it. Don't have nothing to do with it. And work and deed and connection. Look, or to physically take something. Don't let it cling to your hand. Okay? So that Yahuwah turns from the fierceness of this displeasure and shall show you compassion. Okay, like I was talking, I just have to say this. A lion and a bear are fierce. but fire is more fierce than both a lion and a bear. And fire will rush through a forest and make lions and bears run. Or through a savannah and make lions and bears run. The Most High is an all-consuming fire, whether you like it or not. And one day he shall show his face with the Lamb. He sits on the throne, and the Lamb shall come back and shall return, and all nations shall fear and tremble, and tell the rocks to fall upon him, and hide them from the face of the one who sits on the throne and from the Lamb. Okay? When his fierceness is against you, it's like fire. Who can bear it? No one. So it says, if you do these things, it says, if you get rid of it, it says, so that Yahuwah turns from the fierceness of his displeasure and shall show you compassion. Compassion. Love you and increase you. So he's going to show you compassion. Like, be kind to you. Oh, come here. Come here, son. Come here, daughter. Let me give you love. Let me bless you and increase you and make you great. Okay? As he swore to your fathers. See, this is what I'm talking about. To our fathers. This is not a faith like other people do in Christianity or Islam. This is our heritage going back thousands of years, regardless of anybody wants to believe it. We are the Most High's witnesses. Our fathers going back thousands of years have been the people of the Most High, and we are his witnesses that he did what it says in his book, and that we saw, our fathers saw what was seen that is written in his book. We are his witnesses to tell the word is true. Not just that we believe it, that we saw it, that our fathers saw it, and it has been passed down for generations. Okay? Passed down for generations, and for those who have forgotten their heritage and waking up, or who never forgot, look, this is the ways of our fathers, as the scripture says. Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 17. Last part of verse, he said, as he swore to your fathers. He swore this to our fathers. Okay? When you obey the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim to guard all his commands, which I command you today, to do what is right in the eyes of Yahuwah your Elohim. Okay? I'm Brother Yahusadeknu ben Yahushua ben Yahuwah Beit Deut. Also, you can call me Yahusadeknu ben Deut. Or just Brother Yahusadeknu. Shalom.